Today we're taste testing, I should say, a 100-year-old mead. Not really the age. Used 100-year-old yeast. So let's get started. All right, so I have a very interesting yeast from Doing the Most here. So I'm gonna let him talk about the origins of the yeast in a second, but the base test here was I took a very old yeast and revived it enough to create a mead with it. Now, where did I source a 100-year-old yeast? It's from BC.
Yeah, so on eBay, a long while back, it feels like forever ago now, probably 3-4 months ago, I bought a 100-year-old beer brewing kit, pre-prohibition kit, and it comes with brewing yeast. They're these like little pucks, I guess, of yeast. And so I brewed the beer. You'll be able to see that whole process on my channel, but I wanted to, just in case I couldn't revive the yeast, I wanted to give Garrett an opportunity to try. And so it came with 5 pucks of yeast. I gave one to him, a 100-year-old, and not even like sealed or anything. I mean, it's in like a cardboard canister.
Packaging was odd then,
for
sure.
Little sketch. And so I gave it to him. My yeast never took off. I ended up having to pitch US-05, but apparently you've had success.
So here's what I did. I took this little puck of yeast. I made a sugar wash to start, and basically just mixed up sugar and water at a really low concentration. I mean, it was maybe like 1025, 1030. Okay. Nothing crazy, because I was worried about overloading these very old yeast to not work at all. I added the yeast in. I added a little bit of yeast nutrient too, and I let it just set. And about 24 hours went by, nothing happened. I was like, okay, this is not looking good. 48 hours went by, still nothing.
And that was at the point that I pitched my US-05.
Yeah.
I have sunk too much money into my project to let it ride. So at 48 hours, I gave up.
I kept waiting. 72 hours came by, and suddenly there was some fermentation. Now, I know people are already speculating a couple things.
Oh yeah.
Did I sanitize things well enough so that there wasn't a wild yeast? I did my normal sanitizer, Star San, rinse, dunk, all the things. So could a wild yeast have somehow fought through the fierce battle that is Star San? I'm sure, but more than likely, I don't think so. I think this yeast just took a hot minute because it had been sitting for quite some time to like come back to life. And so 72 hours had gone by, fermentation started, and I was like, all right, great. So I let that just kind of run its course. And then I pitched in some honey on top of that with water, of course, and we made a mead. And the starting gravity for this was still pretty low. I mean, it was like 1060, like nothing crazy. Because again, I don't know how far this yeast was gonna go.
We have no idea what yeast it is.
Yeah, it could have capped out at 4 or 5, probably not. But it could have capped out really low, and so I went pretty low. Fermented out completely, and at that point, we racked it. I did stabilize it, and we back sweetened with a little more honey. I did, and I am saving the yeast. So anyone who's freaking out right now, yes, I'm going to work on cultivating this yeast to share, of course, with BC, because he's going to do a bunch of stuff, and then probably people from my local homebrew club and people like that.
Amazing.
So some fun things. But we have a mead made with 100-year-old yeast right here. It is clear, too.
I'm so have you tasted it at all?
No.
I'm so excited.
And I did use more quality honey. I didn't use some cheapo honey, which I have in the past on some of these projects.
What if this turns out to be the best traditional mead you've ever had?
Good thing we've got the yeast. I hope we're going to revive this yeast. So let's taste it. There was a little hiss there, so that's exciting.
A little. So is this dry?
It's slightly sweet. 1015 or 1020, I think, was my final.
Okay.
A little bit of petulance in there.
Yeah, just some
degassing, probably.
Little trapped gas.
I did have to bottle it pretty young, because again, I was trying to move this along, so.
Hey, that smells like mead.
It does smell like mead.
There's a little fermentation in there.
Yeah. We're like, probably, I don't remember when you gave this to me, 2 months now?
Yeah, probably 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's young, but we drink.
But it doesn't smell like, there's a little green side to it.
Yeah, it's not like tooty or bready or any of that. A little bit fruity.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was one of these honeys, so I couldn't tell you which one.
Cornucopia of honeys back here. All right, buddy.
Cheers.
100-year-old
100 years.
yeast.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. There's
definitely like
something unusual in there.
Yep.
It's like a dark berry note.
That could be this honey again. I don't know which honey I used, but there is some almost like farmhouse funky kind of.
Yeah. I don't know that I would go so far as to say farmhouse, but there's definitely like
farmhouse is definitely stronger, but
there's definitely like a wet grain kind of barley or buckwheat kind of flavor, a grain flavor.
But it's pretty smooth. I mean, if we're getting really analytical, of course, we're not talking about specifically like the tannins and the acid balance necessarily. Right. We're trying to talk about the yeast. I think the yeast is definitely imparted a character to this.
There's a fruity character, and I'm curious, like you said, if it comes from the honey, but I'm picking up like a dark berry, like a blueberry, right down the middle of my palate. It's a bit hot still.
Yeah.
You can taste the youth in there. I would be very curious to see what this tastes like a year from now.
Maybe 100 years from now?
After this, we're going to go bury a bottle in this backyard.
Let my great grandkids
it's time
drink
capsule.
It. I've only got one bottle left, so of this specific batch, but we had the yeast.
You know, I like this. It's nothing to write home about, but it ain't bad either. It's a traditional mead.
Yeah, and it fermented. That's what's the craziest thing about this whole.
I would love to know the percentage of live cells in that little puck.
I mean, it had to have been like 2, and like those guys were just Spartacus style fighting through.
Just hung out all those years to come back and make some booze.
It would be fascinating. It would have been fascinating to take one of those and send it off to a lab and see if they could like somehow, I don't know if they can see that. If your white labs are one of these people, maybe I'll be able to send a sample and you guys can tell me.
Oh if you're from White Labs or Omega and you want a sample of this, reach out to us. I would love to get the genome sequenced and see if it's anything close to what we're working with now.
Now here's my thing. If this were a wild yeast, I have a feeling that it wouldn't have as clean of a taste. I know there are wild yeast that can still be clean.
Yeah, but there's no signs of spoilage. There's no signs of souring. It drinks like a relatively young but fairly well-crafted traditional mead. Well done, dude. He could do what I was too timid to try.
Well, there's multiple factors into his side. He made the beer, and I'm gonna make sure that you go and watch his beer video because he spent all the money on the kit, and he was just gracious enough to share a little puck of yeast with me. And the beer itself, we're gonna taste here in a second, and so you're not gonna get to see it on this channel. Go over to the Doing the Most channel, but he'll talk more about it there. I'm super curious to see what all the malts and the things, because those. Not just the yeast, the yeast is 100 years old. The malt and all the other things that were in that beer.
The hops.
Hops are 100 years. So we're going to find out. Go check out Doing the Most if you haven't already, and check out that video amongst a million other ones. But I'm excited to share some of this yeast with you.
Dude, success. Well done.
Well, let's go bury this bottle, and we'll see you in 100 years.
Cheers.